Let's talk about your home. You know, the one place on earth you're supposed to feel the absolute safest. But what legal protections do you actually have there? Today, we're diving deep into Arizona's Castle Doctrine. It's a really powerful set of laws that basically builds a legal fortress around you, your home, and yeah, even your car.
Okay, but before we go any further, we have to get this out of the way, and it's really important. This is all for educational purposes. This is absolutely not legal advice. If you ever find yourself in a situation or have specific questions, you have to talk to a licensed attorney. Seriously.
So, with that handled, let's get right to it. What does the law actually say when someone breaks into your home? I mean, how does it look at what you do in that terrifying split-second moment? The best way to think about Arizona's Castle Doctrine is as a legal fortress. So let's take a look at the legal tool that's really the foundation for this whole thing. And that tool is called a legal presumption. Just think of it like a default setting in the law. It means a court has to start with the assumption that a particular fact is true. In this case, it means the entire legal system begins on your side, giving you the benefit of the doubt from the get-go. All right, so the actual blueprint for this fortress, it's written down in the Arizona Revised Statutes, specifically Section 13419. Let's really pull this apart and see what it says. Okay, I know, that looks like a giant wall of legalese, and, well, it is. But don't worry about it. We're going to break this down piece by piece to really understand how this powerful protection gets built. So let's do this. First, is presumed. That's the magic right there. The law starts on your side. Second, and this part is huge, to reasonably believe. Normally, a prosecutor would try to argue about whether your fear was reasonable. This law just says, nope, it was. It basically takes that question right off the table. Third, deadly physical force. That covers the whole spectrum, everything you might do to defend yourself. And finally, here's the trigger for all of this. The physical act of an unlawful and forceful entry. That's the switch that turns on this entire legal fortress. And believe it or not, that incredibly strong presumption, that's only the first layer of your defense. The law actually adds a second shield that works right alongside the first, making this legal fortress almost impossible to get through. And this is where it gets really powerful. You've got two shields. Shield number one presumes your reaction was reasonable. Shield number two presumes the intruder's intent was deadly. Now think about that. For a prosecutor to even bring charges, they have to somehow prove that both of those presumptions are wrong. That is an incredibly high bar to clear. So this two-part presumption, it doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It actually juices up a whole bunch of other self-defense laws that are already on the books. And when you combine this powerful presumption with all those other laws, you get what we're calling a legal superjustification. It takes the idea of regular self-defense and just puts it on a whole other level when you're inside your home. And just look at how far-reaching this is. This superjustification boosts everything. Basic self-defense, using deadly force, defending someone else, defending your property, even just defensively showing a firearm. It pretty much strengthens any possible defensive action you could think of taking inside your home. So let's apply this to the clearest possible scenario. How does this whole superjustification work during an actual home burglary? Well, Arizona law is super specific here. It actually spells out that you are justified in using deadly force to stop certain crimes, and one of those is a first or second-degree burglary of a home. So, in this situation, the crime of burglary itself becomes the ultimate trigger for your legal protection. You know, to really feel the power of the Castle Doctrine, just compare defending yourself at home versus on the street. Now, Arizona is a stand-your-ground state, so you never have a duty to retreat. But look at how the legal burden flips. On the street, you have to prove your fear was reasonable. Inside your home during a burglary, the law presumes it was reasonable, and it presumes the intruder was deadly. It's a total night-and-day difference. Now, here's a really important detail. This legal fortress isn't just your house. Arizona law actually extends this exact same powerful protection to your vehicle. First off, the law defines a residential structure pretty broadly. It's basically any place adapted for lodging, whether it's permanent or temporary. But the castle doesn't end at the front door. Because the law extends all of this to what it calls an occupied vehicle. And the definition is simple. It's any vehicle with a person inside it. That's right. It means if someone unlawfully and forcefully enters your car while you're in it, those same two powerful legal shields we talked about just snap right into place to protect you, exactly as if you were standing in your own living room.
Okay, so we've seen just how strong this legal shield is. But, and this is a big but, it is not absolute. It's just as important to understand the limits as it is to understand the strengths. Your castle doctrine protections can be completely nullified in 4 key situations. 1. If you were the person who started the fight. 2. If you were in the middle of committing a serious crime yourself. 3. If the person entering was a cop performing their official duties. And 4. If the person actually had a legal right to be there, like a roommate or a family member. These boundaries are absolutely crucial to understand.